really quick to get them into your hands, the first stop we go to is where I do kind of a quick one-on-one with every one of you to show you more tactics based on your device. So if you have questions based on the device that you get, just kind of hold back until that first location. Fair?
Yep.
All right, thermal imaging. You guys should be able to see me in that camera, right? I'm red, orange, and yellow. When I have bridal parties and my wife's not here, that means I'm the hottest thing in the camera. But she can chuckle along with you guys tonight. Sorry, Brian. Sorry, Sean. But that's how that goes. So we're literally looking for the cold spots, which are going to be blue and black. So everything around me in the background should be somewhat blue or black. We're looking for those things to kind of move on their own. So when that happens, we still have other different devices to be able to detect and prove it or debunk it pretty quickly. So again, Brian, I think this one's going to go to you, my man. You've been pretty quiet.
Cool, thanks.
So you're going to keep the camera part on. It's on the left-hand side. You're going to keep it on the left all night. Okay. So we're going to do a couple of start and stops. As great as the hardware is, the software sucks. So I don't like to lose video. So I will give you cues to first start and stop.
Okay.
Red spirit box.
This says it's still going. Do you want me to stop it?
Nope, we're going to keep that one going. You're going to go for like a good 45 minutes or so.
Okay.
So, because we're going to hit 2 locations pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Spirit boxes. So, who's not familiar with spirit boxes? I got to explain. Okay, so basically what these guys do is they're going to sweep through FM radio stations at a very quick rate. So, this on your TV shows, it's the white noise, right? So, and then Zach Bagans tells you the BS he thinks he wants you to hear in the middle of the screen. We're going to be doing that in real time. So the cool thing about this one is you guys aren't used to listening to this kind of device all the time. So I have it slowed down. I want the radio, DJs, song lyrics, all that stuff to come through in little tiny bits. In the event we actually make something out, like say it says Big John's, obviously that's a clue, right? So the cool thing is it's going to record even on mute and no background noise. So I really love this device. Even when I say, Lisa, let's turn this thing down, it's okay because it's still going to give you the full recording back, and I will give you 15 markers whether they're relevant or not. So the reason why I give even the non-relevant markers is because you guys need to learn how I'm listening to this thing when I'm going through the data. So you have to keep in mind with 7 people here, you guys are going to create a good 7 to 8 hours worth of data. I'm not going to go through all of that. So I only go through it and kind of spot check everything, so that way you guys have some leads to go off of. So with this one, Lisa, you sound like you're nodding your head like you're familiar with this device already.
Well, we have one.
You have one of these?
Like that.
No, a different one. Yeah, we have SP7.
Okay, well I'm going to get to one of those too. So yours, the only thing you have to worry about is this volume button at the top. You're going to control the volume. So obviously we want to keep it down when I'm going through, obviously talking through and telling history. Now go ahead, Spirit Box, queue up. So let's go to the SP7. This one does the exact same thing, only it does not record. So actually, I'm going to give this to April because Ryan over there, his device is recording audio. So in the event you hear something, you guys are probably going to be working together as a pair. Hopefully we'll hear it as well. You also only have one button. Ladies, don't worry, I got stuff for you too. You only have one button. It's on the side of the ball. So you want to just hold it up gently to get the volume out of it. It takes a minute. And then obviously you want to turn it down. So go ahead and get used to that because it is a kind of a funky button.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Alright, so this one is a little different. I like to put a spirit box in every group. And they're all different. They all do something different. So, we're still communicating with the dead on this one. However, this one's going to give us words in the center of the screen. Have you guys seen this one? Lisa's like, yeah, I know that one. So, this one, we're going to have a word where those 3 dots are. So, and then it's going to save them all to a list. The cool thing about the list is that it gives me timestamps for everything that comes up. So that way I know, like, oh, that was a very big clue to that specific location. I can then listen to the other spirit box and watch the videos at those certain markers. We're going to clear out my last group and start you guys off fresh. So I will tell you 80% of what comes information. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. All right. I think I'm going to hand this one off to you. So at times, Heidi, I'm going to say where we at with the list. We're going to hit the little white button to the right of the word. And then I'm going to show you the whole list. We're going to scroll through it, and then we're going to circle back. 2 buttons, nice and simple. Let's go into the EMF.
Anybody?
Alright. So, you guys pretty familiar with these, right? So these are the ones you guys see on TV. This is an EMF meter. So regular electronics are going to make this thing go off. Sorry, that was a kind of a jerk motion from my back. But again, we're going to debunk a lot of things with this guy. It's kind of the first indication that something is actually happening. So again, if this thing starts going crazy, Sean, this is all about you. So even if you want to help him out, Lisa, and double fist while he's pushing you around. All right, we're going to go into the millimeter. Thank you. All right. You're my multitasker. You got this. Most people, when I say multitask, will be like, oh man. So a millimeter has 3 functions. The first thing it's going to have is an EMF, just like the one I gave to Sean and Lisa. So that's your big numbers. Anything above 2.5, I'm going to be excited about. We're still going to debunk some things. In the event Brian over here finds something on his camera, we can debunk it with the temperature right here. This is ambient temperature based around what's going around this antenna. The last thing that it has is it has a REM pod in it. It's a motion detector of things we can't see. So in the event something gets close to the antenna, it will go off. So I'm going to show you more about that at the first location. Just for now, focus on the numbers on the red screen. Leave the little flap open so I can show you how those buttons work in the back. Mamie, you get my brand new device.
Oh.
You seem so intrigued with that jaw drop the whole time. I figure we better give you something special. So we're still kind of experimenting with this guy.
I didn't know I was jaw dropped.
You did. I'm a writer and I observe people like
No,
mad.
obviously you're very observant.
Are you right or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed. So let me move this so you can actually use it. So this is let me kind of do a quick demo before you guys get into what this actually is. So you should not be able to see me in this camera. It's pretty dark in there, right? So are you guys already familiar with stuff like this? You seem like you're very in tune.
We've got some Bobby we have it.
So we're working with full spectrum lighting. I should be in a purplish pinkish hue right now. So if you guys can see that. So this is light you can't see with your own eyes. So we're looking for things we can't see with our own eyes. Also, minimized amount of time we can record with this guy. So again, we're going to start and stop. I'll always give you the cues. And again, I'm going to show you more about this device at the first location.
Okay.
So you're going to be our camera person all night long. All right, so recap on what you guys are actually going to be getting back tomorrow morning. First off, you should know when I was playing with my phone when we all met up, I was setting up the voice recorder that will be on the bag. Hopefully April will be close enough to me all night where you guys can get the stories again, because you're going to need them for reference as you go through your data. You're going to get the full thermal imaging video. You're going to have the full spectrum video. You're going to have the words from the spirit box over here, recording from the spirit box there. Any other notes that I take from those non-recordable devices will also be at the very bottom, what I call other location notes. So, is this what you all thought you signed up for?
Yes.
Okay. Brian's like, I'm not really sure, man.
He didn't even know what this was. This was a surprise.
This is weird.
He had no idea what I was walking into.
Oh yeah, yeah. They
All right,
fun.
so let's talk about why we came here to Big John's. So,
okay.
So of course it's haunted, and of course I have to bring it way out of the norm of the other tours. So, water first. If I could tilt my head back enough, that would be great, right? All right, so Big John's. It actually just opened up about 6 weeks ago. Reopened as Big John's. You see the established 1955?
Yeah.
This used to be a place called Big John's Tavern, named after Big John Kennedy. He was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. It's kind of nice to tell stories without a backpack on. Just going to put it out there. Might have to bring her along more often. So, but Big John, this was his bar, and he used to sit in the back. And he used to tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, 2 guys come in, they're not old enough. He has a bartender kick them out. They leave pretty pissed off. They come back the next night, and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. Big John sees what's going on. He starts pounding these guys into the floor, just beating the hell out of them. A couple of gunshots go off. John gets hit in the neck, and the bullet lands in the wall. Big John gets up after being shot and tells the bartender, get him another beer, get the 2 guys on the floor in an ambulance. So, first off, nobody died in that story. What's haunting the place is the bullet hole is allegedly here. It's what's haunting the place. People that sit in the front of the bar tend to get a little queasy, nauseous, headaches. I bring the story up on purpose because I don't know how paranormal activity is going to affect anyone. In the event you guys feel any of those things, I actually had a young lady pass out on me last week. So, yeah, it happens. Just depends. And I'll actually tell you more about that when we get to that location because it was specific to who she was. So, yeah, it was very interesting. So, anyway, if you guys feel any of those symptoms, I need to know immediately so we can move the whole group and get that person to safety. Fair?
Okay. Yes.
Let's not talk about our own health anymore. That's the scariest part of your whole tour. We had a big earthquake here in 1886. If you haven't taken any kind of Charleston tour, every tour guide talks about it. But this is allegedly where the first death occurred. The mantle you see in the middle of the building, the white mantle, also wraps around the front to the East Bay side. A piece of that broke off, struck somebody in the back of the head, and killed him. They say you could see his ghost in the middle of East Bay Street in the middle of the night. Notice I said allegedly and apparently a lot with that. It's only a great segue story because I don't have any proof. I just don't want you guys thinking about getting sick on my tour. So, are you guys ready to go ghost hunting?
Yeah.
We're gonna go this way.
I don't know.
Your face is perpendicular.
So,
Yeah, maybe.
yep, you're gonna get the full list back. So at times, those words that come up, they're actually relevant to
So in the cars, the tires are hotter than the cars for some reason. Hardness. What the hell's happening here? Oh, there we go. How's it 102 degrees? Look at that.
electromagnetic field. 2.5.
Period. Nothing.
Anything below that, it's kind of
What
irrelevant.
about above
Sorry.
it?
Way above it,
I mean, it just showed a 0.4. That's what I was asking.
yeah, so we're really looking for those 2.5s in mind.
2.5.
The reason why I say that is the device that Sean has. Sean, hold up your device for a second. So he has a green dot. The second green dot that shows up is 2.5 milligauss. So I have these set up to the same types of measurement.
Okay.
So that way we can kind of compare. His is just way more sensitive.
Yeah.
Yours is just way more accurate. For
Right.
paranormal.
Gotcha.
So again, first detection to debunk.
Yeah.
First detection to prove. Right. So that's kind of how I use both of those. So welcome to the Big Red Barn Lot. Beautiful site of Charleston, right? So this is where we keep your horses for the carriage ride. You guys can probably smell them. I can't. So I'm out here wonderful anyway. See how hot she is?
Yeah.
He's testing out the grain. So, with that said, there's only one line of history here. It's super simple. This is where we kept the horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. That's it. We're talking 1860s and 1920s. This is just a great practice spot for all of you so I can get to know every one of your devices and you can learn more about your tactics. So, let's talk about spirit boxes. We're using all three of my spirit boxes tonight. This is not television. This is not, is somebody here? Because if somebody answers no, somebody's here. They answered you. So we're going to stay away from yes and no questions all night long. We want the specifics, which is why you're all here. You guys want proof of the paranormal, right? So
Yeah.
again, we want those specific details. If somebody's here, tell me what color the Big Red Barn is. Very simple question, you know the answer. We're obviously listening and looking. When I say looking, we have a digital word list for the color red. But let's say the DJs that you guys are listening to on the noisy spirit boxes don't have the word red in their vocabulary. There might be something in there like fire truck, blood, heart. Those three things are specifically red. What color is the Big Red Barn? Heart. That makes sense to me. Most clues and questions, I'm going to require 2 verification clues to verify. For example, let's say Lisa here is the number 40 on her spirit box. Where's the digital one? So we have the word art that shows up on this one. Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. You see how the clues come together? A lot of the stories tonight have multiple people with the same names. Charles, Eliza, Georges. There's a lot of them all over town. It's just a time period. So I need to know who the hell we're talking to, right?
Yep.
So we're going to ask those kind of specific questions. In the event, spirit boxes, you don't get an answer to what color is the Big Red Barn, open it up. What's inside the barn? I already told you they were delivery horses that delivered milk and eggs. Milk and eggs could also be portrayed as protein and calcium. So I've had that come up here before. This is a very simple spot. Again, you're looking for those keywords. So for spirit boxes, you guys can spread out if you like. Sean, you seem like you're pretty hip to how to use that K2 when you get a hot spot. You're already getting some, like I would say about 15 milligauss. Are you getting anything on yours, Donna?
Well, it went up to 3.8.
Okay, so we'll get a 3 out of you, and he's got about 15. Again, his is way more sensitive. We are somewhat close to the building. If it was the building, if they got closer, we'd probably turn red. However, we are standing over a sewer line. There's no reason why either device should be giving us any type of reading at all. So with the cameras, I'm going to start with the 2 of you, so that way I can show you more tactics and give you a little bit more reason. And then the millimeter, where's that one at? So Donnie, you have the millimeter. I'm going to come to you next. You guys already seem like you're pretty hip, so I would say turn up your spirit boxes. Just keep in mind the noisy spirit boxes, the horses don't like the white noise. So if you're going to be up there by those windows, there's no glass in those panes. So just keep that in mind. The horses will kick at the metal wall and scare the shit out of all of us. So that's just kind of how it works. So we're trying not to make the horses angry. So cameras, if you want to follow me, you can come over here. Everybody else, let's spread out. We're only going to be here like 5 minutes. All right, so Brian, let's start with you. Do you get the gist of why we want to try to keep somebody's skin temperature in there?
So we can create a contrast between
Exactly.
that and the
So
profile.
just a quick demo. Punch it right in the middle of this tree. You should have like the wall should be mainly like a reddish color, I'm guessing. What do we got going on here? Yeah, perfect. So watch what happens when my hand gets in view. See how the wall turned blue?
Yeah.
You want that, like you said, a contrast. Now, the little blue dot that's on your screen that's moving around, that's the coldest spot in the area at that particular time. However, if you do get the sky in view, it'll automatically go to the sky because it doesn't know what to measure. So I also left the crosshairs on there in the center, so in case you need to move the camera to measure something specifically, you can do that as well. The little cheat bar that's on the right-hand side that gives you the high and low temperature will not be on the video. It doesn't screenshot that portion of the video for some reason, but the blue dot and the crosshairs will be on there, so that way when you get it back, you'll know what you're looking for.
Gotcha.
So again, try to keep somebody in view if you can. We have a decent party tonight. There's 9 of us total. So again, just try to keep somebody's skin tone in there because obviously we're going to be 97 to 99. Ambient temperature is going to be, what, 71 to 73 degrees out here, roughly. So I don't know without the backpack on. I know how much based on my sweat on the back. But yeah, in here, just get used to the different types of material. Metal, asphalt, vehicles. Just keep in mind, people do not like their vehicles being filmed. Just keep that in mind. Same thing goes for you. All right, so as far as yours goes, very simple on yours. In the event you're with a group of people. So, and watch my hand on the camera. You have a little red button right here. It'll shut off the short range. It'll keep the long range on. Go ahead, play with it. Very top. Here? That button. So again, if you're close, it's going to bleach things out. On the video for this guy, you're literally looking for things in your zone. So, yeah, so I want it almost as dark as what our normal eyes would see. And I want that light to be able to portray things that should be able to reflect light. So I'm looking for like, you're going to see dark eyes. Hard to see things in this 1.5-inch screen, and when I give it back to you tomorrow, you can watch it on whatever platform you want, your TV, your computer, your phone. It'll be much easier to see. So in this event, you're experimenting, we're not recording yet. We're experimenting. So again, you might not see anything in real time. That's why we spot check it in the morning.
What are you supposed to be finding?
I can just. It's supposed to be.
Finding cold spots?
Yeah, cold spots. Yeah.
I don't know. I heard the word fire.
Anyway, you have to have a heat marker on here in order to turn the camera not red. So So,
Oh.
and then I'm supposed to be finding the blue spots, but if I put the sky in there, it goes straight to the sky. So, so basically I'll be trying to look at the ghost behind people like this. Oh. Right there.
There's one behind me, isn't there?
Jumping around a little bit. Okay, come on. I've noticed that open windows and doors that have something behind them, or nothing behind them, as opposed to the wall, is usually a little cooler.
Alright, so pull up your antenna. Here? Yep. Flip it over where I have the flap open in the back. There's going to be two little white buttons back there. Yep, put them glasses on. I need to see. So the one closer to the edge is the one you want. You want to click it all the way into place. It broke it.
Great, we just got here.
Yeah, click it all the way in. Perfect. It's going to be right in your face.
I'm not saying so much.
What's that?
I'm not saying so much what you're doing with mine. I don't know what you're doing with mine.
Who's coming to me?
I heard Justin Bieber. Is he doing?
I don't think so. No. So I just want to move around.
So,
Yeah, what am I supposed to be picking up?
Just pick up people saying voices, saying stuff,
I'm picking up Justin Bieber.
Okay, well, and you can't change the channel?
No, it's just the volume.
Okay, alright, okay.
You said it's
Well, you're
cool.
okay. Yeah, and I definitely got the coolest device. So.
It's behind me, isn't it?
I don't know what was that? There's like some quote from like Blair Witch Project or something like that, but I can't remember what it was, but.
That was it. Oh, yeah.
just click that reset button and it stays still. Yep, and it stands still. So if it still goes crazy, when you reset it, it's locked in. Oh, gotcha.
You're weird. Let me put my hands here.
Why? How does that help?
Alright, what have we heard on this thing?
Your toys are more fun than my toys.
No. I gotta go where the dead people are first.
Where are they?
I don't know.
Over there?
I assume that's where we're going.
I thought they were here.
We're doing a little bit of groundwork here. We gotta get all our devices coordinated. Oh, there's a ghost right there.
Alright guys, we're gonna go learn some real history now. You guys ready?
Yeah.
April, have you heard anything on yours?
Heard the word fire and Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber on fire. Love it.
Well, he was singing Peaches, but
I'm gonna team fire. Breaking in the dark here has become a new skill that I have.
this Peaches mean anything.
No. It's definitely part of the 80%
Good.
BS.
Is there an orange barn around here? Oh, careful.
from back here. Come on, Donna, that's from the parking meter. That was from the parking meters, dear. You don't have to worry about those.
She found it.
She found the ghost. Alright, you
Is
can
that something?
probably, but you can definitely turn off that white button while I go over the history.
How?
Here. The one in the back. Just click it out. You got this.
You can do it.
Alright.
Woo!
Alright, so far we have 2 clues to this location on the Spirit Box word list. So I'll kind of go over those as we go rolling along here. So welcome to... Hopefully. Yours is actually the first detection of what I need to go through with everybody else's, so hopefully your list is good. It's been pretty weak lately.
It's good, okay?
This is another beautiful site of Charleston, isn't it? Another parking lot? So this place used to be something. This was the Pinckney Mansion site. So the mansion actually faced East Bay Street up there in the front. Eliza's garden lined up with that silver truck over there and came all the way across. And we're standing where the servant and slave quarters would have been for the home. So, yeah, this is a crazy site. This is one of my big ones. So, let's kind of go over what goes on here. You're already getting 15 to 20. I see it going off already.
Oh, wow.
So, Liza and Charles Pinckney are the ones that lived here. They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Charleses, in case you lost track. Your jaw was supposed to drop. I missed it. So, 3 Charleses, so we need to know who the hell we're talking to in here. But the nephew and the son, they were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. However, I don't like politics. You guys go on vacation. We're going to move on, because I don't want to talk about politics either. So, Eliza, she's way cooler anyway. By the way, your spirit boxes, I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse, right? Like what we did with the Red Barn. Like, we're not going to be doing that. This is kind of like your level 2. You will get the answers from your spirit boxes in here. So, Eliza and Charles married at a young, well, she was young, and I'm not going to give you what age she was, but I will tell you that Charles was over double her age. So, like, there's a pretty big age gap between them. And no, she was not in her teenage years. So, again, I'll kind of give you that clue as well. But she married Charles because her father over in England thought he was dying, and he wanted to see all of his kids one last time. She didn't want to go. She just didn't think he was dying yet, so she put her foot down and she got married. This is the 1740s. There was no such thing as citizenship. She didn't marry him for a green card. She did marry him out of love and never married again after his death. So, obviously he was older than her, so there was a big age gap. But anyway, she married him, and she was right. Her dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. Indigo is a seed that makes blue dye that makes her blue jeans blue. So you're wearing it right now because that's how we still use it. It started right here. She had to experiment with it and learn from her slaves how to keep it cultivated in our weird temperatures. It does get cold here in January, I promise you. I'm out here with hot hands because people want to go ghost hunting. It does get chilly. So once she had it figured out here, she moved it to a farm in Mount Pleasant, just north of here. Called her dad, not literally because it's the 1750s, and said, hey, I need somewhere to sell this. Rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing. She starts selling her indigo dye internationally. We're talking about an international businesswoman in colonial times, something that's absolutely unheard of. Again, the other tours won't come here. There's nothing to see.
Right.
So again, we're going to investigate this location. However, I am going to give you some starter questions of what, for your spirit boxes. Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. So the year after the first Eliza died, he married this Eliza, the one with the indigo. They both have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. Find out what the maiden name is. So obviously you can ask about the marriage. I gave you that question earlier. You can also ask what happened to the mansion. I am going to tell you we already have the answer to that. And yes, it was a fire. Who heard that? That was you, right?
Oh, yeah.
So again, we're very close. You can also hear things from Big John's over here. We're literally 1 block away. So again, I bounce around with all of you as we're going through this to see what's going on with everything. So, where was I? So the fire, find out maybe what year it happened. So normally you have to find out what the tragedy was, but we already have it. The children, I will tell you we already have a second name. So Thomas, that we have on your list, is definitely a second child. We can ask specific things about Thomas. Maybe what war did he fight in? But she did have... She also had a Joseph, but there is no Joseph in the sons, or I don't know who's on the team. So for Big John, so I'll have to look at it for Big John's as well.
Oh, okay.
But as far as the kids go, we're not going to pry too hard, only because there's a tragedy among one of those children. So maybe find out how many total she had, how many boys, how many girls, get some names. You already know 2, Charles and Thomas. See what the other 2 names are if we can get them. But I want you specifically to pry at Thomas. Again, find out
She's
more
supposed
about...
to ask direct questions.
Oh, yes, direct.
Who asked?
Thomas.
So, the box.
You
Wow.
can use that as a walkie-talkie to the
Yeah,
deck.
right, yeah.
Oh. Me too? This
Yeah,
one?
absolutely. This is
Yeah,
a
you weren't
question
using it.
out
Yeah,
loud.
you weren't using it right.
Like,
yeah,
it's
that's why-
not
that's
always
why I
going
didn't
to
hear
be
anything.
a direct answer.
shouldn't
However,
have
like
told
we
you
said,
fire
we
in the
didn't ask
first
for
place. You never
one of
asked.
our kids' names over at Big Red Barn, but we already have one. So it's a clue here. I still need that secondary clue to verify that it's
Got an
actually him.
expensive piece of equipment
See
here.
where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
So again, we have one clue.
Probably.
Whoever's here gave it to us. So let's find out another clue. Maybe something that happened to him. What war did he fight in? What year did he die?
And she's going to get a word that indicates.
Yeah, if their answer.
Or into the spirit box. It might not go to war. It might go to the other 2. Nope. Walkie-talkie here, that's it. Talk right into the box if you like. That's what makes you comfortable. Let me give you some more questions. So where were we? The kids. Oh, Eliza's death. So Eliza's really open about her death. So if you want to ask her how old she was when she died, what did she die from, where is she buried, and what U.S. president was a pallbearer at her funeral. You already kind of realized how important she was with her indigo. A president wanted to, at his request, to take her to her grave. Find out which president. So we are going to scatter about in here. Cameras, I already kind of told you, people do not like their cars being filmed, so we're going to stay away from the vehicles. And again, this is kind of weird for a Friday night. There's not many vehicles in here. We're definitely going to be following Donna. You're definitely going to be looking, like, turn your REM pod on. And as far as Sean's EMF meter, so they're going to know where the hot spots are, so we'll kind of like follow them. I usually give you guys a head start. Yeah, he's already got some. However, things with the slaves, I can't prove. There's no records. So again, even if you guys get names, I can't prove them. So it is what it is, unfortunately. So scatter about. I usually take a few minutes so I can check you guys in on all the different websites that you guys bought your tickets from. And then it kind of gives you a head start because nobody likes the teacher hanging over your shoulder anyway. Brian, I'm going to come to you first to show you some evidence that I caught in this lot with your camera, so that way you have a better gist of what you're looking for. But yeah, scatter about, go ask some questions.
Let's go over here. You gotta ask him something.
Eliza, how did you die?
Sound like Elijah. See, I'm gonna walk behind you. Right? Contrast you. Hey Eliza, how many toes do you have on your right foot? Nope.
Should we wait for her to answer one question before we ask another? I want to know Eliza, how did you die?
On the fire, probably, huh? Sorry to interrupt her.
I was going to freak out if you were going to show up and your name was Nick.
Oh.
Because that would have been April,
Oh,
two
yeah,
April and Nick
yeah,
couples.
that would have been crazy.
So, this actually occurred here. That's why I wait to show it. It actually happened up there in that corner. So obviously you see the wall, right? There's two living heads walking past the wall. You see the two orange dots? We're going to fast forward and find the dead people. Facebook never likes to work with me. They're going to go the opposite way, and there's always going to be somebody in view on the right-hand side. Did you see him go across?
Right there?
Yep. I'll rewind it again.
Which one did you think the most funny?
Go pan back up. Just keep going. Yeah, I did. Come on. Right about there, past the post. I've had it analyzed by firemen, and
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, there's definitely two heads there. There's no way that's a car. It's too far away.
Yeah.
The car would be on the other side of the road. So, again, probably one of the best pieces we have. So that's when I say you're looking for black spots to move on their own.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
what you're looking for.
Okay.
So,
I'll keep an eye out.
all right. So this was the big surprise for you, huh?
Yeah. We came from Raleigh actually earlier today, and so we just wanted to, to get the Charleston experience.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we went to eat here and then came to do this.
All right, everybody watch
Yeah.
the vehicle. They need to park.
Oops, Burden.
Beautiful thing about yours is that it records. So I'm definitely going to spot check it for you. So you said orange or red on yours? Gotcha. Actually, the fire occurred up in that corner. So I don't know if you guys want to try up there.
I'm like, just trying to make out anything. Yeah.
Some people laugh and say, I heard that shopping like it's hot. I'm like, well, there was a fire here. So again,
So that makes sense.
it does. So even, like you heard Justin Bieber over there might be a Justin on Big John's team. So Christmas time, what color is the big red barn? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. I don't need Rudolph the nosed reindeer. I just need red. It's going to pick up both before and after the terms you need
Yeah.
to make sense out of the question. Again, that might be Justin. I'm gonna look at it.
Yeah. Or Peaches or Georgia.
Did Peaches and Georgia together?
Well, it was Justin Bieber's song.
Sorry, don't know the song. But that's the kind of thing we look for. And yeah, if it's a song lyric, when I catch things on Lisa's recording, I usually put a song lyric so you guys know what they're like. So.
If you're here, show me the room. Show me the room. She was asking about the kids.
Oh, what's that first word? They want you to ask which president took it to her grave.
I already asked many times the same question.
Hopefully the answer's going to pop up. Somebody's got the answer somewhere because we're getting clues right around it. So it's on one of those other spirit boxes.
Okay.
So keep asking. Is okay to ask the same question over and over.
Okay.
You gotta find the energy to be able to answer us. Again, you have a lot going on there.
Just got
There's
something.
Small clues, and we just need the second one to verify.
I got something.
Over that way.
You haven't even started recording.
That's fine.
Keep walking forward. A little off to your right. Okay, never mind. It's a tire. Okay, never mind.
So this, I got over there, and it was like struggling, and then it said, "Take my breath away."
And what was that? What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. Is that how she died? Did somebody?
Fire took her breath away? Somebody choked her to death? Pneumonia. Probably pneumonia. Was it a woman's voice? Was it a woman's voice?
First, it was a guy saying struggling, and then, yeah, it was a lady singing, "Take my breath away."
Hoping somebody hears it on another. Probably not. In the wall. Is it? It's definitely not it. Eliza, from here, make it go to purple. You know how this box works.
Now I'm so curious to know how she died. So I was over there, and there was a man's voice that said struggling, and then a girl's voice that said, "Take my breath away."
We also have the phrase "was bad" on the digital. Like you're not close. I'm going to tell you right now.
What does that mean you're not close?
Like she's hearing things, but they're not relevant to
Oh.
the question is that she's asking.
Where does it come from? I got you.
I got another one coming up next week. Tonight's also I got next week.
But that was real because they were new. That was like brand new.
I kind of like put your finger
Where are you gonna put your finger?
in the way of the camera, and then you'll kind of use your finger heat as a barometer or whatever to, so you kind of keep looking forward without having to have somebody in focus.
She had a weird yeah. And even though you couldn't understand her,
Right.
she was still good.
Yeah.
Like she knew
Yeah.
her stuff.
Yeah.
And I was impressed.
7.5. 22.4, 9.6.
I've seen it go all the way up to 150.
Is there a Jacob somewhere around here related to the stories?
Not to my knowledge.
Did any of them have a child mutation?
Good possibility. That's not right. I can look at Tom's.
So, question: do you think that the exorcism is real and then which one paranormal story?
Letters. It said letters. Letters killed her. She wrote a letter. She died. Someone wrote her letter. She died.
Okay, maybe she's gonna say what letter. Eliza, what letter was it?
What letter killed you?
Stop,
Was it A?
Stop. You know, if you're not going to take this seriously, you know, just give your dead eyes back, okay?
She said I lost my antenna, so. I might not ever know the letter.
Hey, Eliza, who's the president that went to your funeral?
Now we're again.
Taft?
Got it, Charles.
I thought I heard Taft, but I don't think
No. Nope, not even close. April, anything coming up on yours? That's relevant.
Okay.
We're gonna go through that at the end. I'm not gonna leave you guys hanging with all these questions, by the way. Oh yeah, that's a great word. Let's move on. You know. Yes.
35.4.
Always want me to write that down. All right, let me take a look at your word list, and then maybe we'll wrap this one up because we're not getting all these secondary clues. Alright, so the words that we're actually getting are like little one-offs. They're not almost, how do I put this? They're vaguely close. So again, I'm going to start off with the word letter that April just heard. And we also have the word novel, which is attached to that on the word list. So Eliza had 4 kids. You already know Charles and Thomas. We talked about them already. I'll give you more on Thomas in a minute. And then there was a daughter, Harriet. And Harriet married in Ori. So 2 prominent families like married into each other. Myrtle Beach, just north of here, about 2.5 hours, is Ori County. So that should tell you like how prominent this family was. Eliza wasn't going to visit her daughter a lot. There was a lot of letter writing back and forth. Those letters were published into a book later on, all of them, called The Letter Book of Eliza Lucas Pinckney. So there's your maiden name of the Eliza with the indigo, Lucas. So I'm very interested in that. There was one more son. His name was George. He died in infancy. The death certificate just has the same month and year as his birth and death. We don't know how old this baby was, whether days or weeks. There's no grave, no headstone different times, I don't judge. I don't know what they did with the body, so choose what you will if you want to research it. So George was named after Eliza's father. You know Eliza's maiden name, so what was her father's name?
Lucas.
Can't remember what you said.
Charles.
Lucas was the maiden name.
Thomas.
Lose George Lucas.
George Lucas, right. So teenagers will ask me if her father invented Star Wars. It's very funny. And I say wrong timeline, let's go on. So, just easy for me to remember. We're big movie buffs, so again, George Lucas is much easier to remember. So let's talk about Eliza's death, because now we have 2 Georges, right? We got 2 Elizas and 3 Charleses. Eliza died at the age of 70 in 1793. That's a long time for a woman to be living during those times. She died from breast cancer. And yeah, 1793, there's no such thing as breast cancer, at least not to our knowledge.
They just take
We're
my
going
breast
based off
away.
of her medical records. So the fact that you have medicine, she was visiting Philadelphia to go get treatments for whatever they thought she had, and she died up there in Philadelphia, which is also where she's buried. She's buried in the same cemetery as Ben Franklin, believe it or not. So, with that said, the president that took her to her grave, George Washington. So again, there's our 3rd George. That's why I always need to know who the hell we're talking to. We did get the word presidency over here. So again, I was waiting for one of you to come up with the word George, so that way we knew which one we were referring to. The mansion, I already told you, it burned down, but that was in the Great Fire of 1861. Every tour guide in Charleston is going to tell you about a Great Fire of whatever year it happened in. This one in particular started at the Harris Teeter up the road, came down East Bay Street, took out half the home, and went literally to the other side of the peninsula. This was a huge fire. So, yeah, in our terms, this would have been like $85 million worth of damage. So back then, I want to say it was like $2.5 to $5 million is what they estimated. So again, 1861. This is almost 70 years after Eliza's death. The house was still within the family, though. The only photos of this house are after the fire. So based on the clues you have, you will get those photos of Eliza, of what she looked like, and obviously the mansion after the fire. So we had some really high spikes on Donna's millimeter. So again, we have a lot going on there, all the way up to, what was it, 35? Was the latest one we just had. That's pretty high for here. However, I have seen it go up to 150 in this location. Again, it's different every single night. We just never know what we're going to actually get. We do have, I mean, that thing was pretty much spiking between 15 to 25 the entire time we were in here. Yeah. And of course, Lisa's recording. Struggled to hear a little bit, but that's okay. It's a recording. That's why I'm going to go through it tomorrow. Yeah. Much easier to listen to when you got earbuds that your wife bought you and in the middle of your office, so you're not bothering anybody with white noise. So, you've been very quiet tonight, by the way.
I know.
She's so talkative at home. Maybe she just likes watching me work. She hasn't been out in a while. All right, so from here, guys, we're actually going to skip one location. A, because my back is killing me, and second, we don't want to roll a wheelchair through cobblestones. So again, that's never fair to anybody. So we're going to skip one location. And what I will tell you about that location is it's one of the first streets of what we had in Charleston. We're going to actually go up to like Cumberland Street area. That's where the original Charlestown Wall used to be. So it actually ran up Cumberland Street. We're going to talk more about that at our last location. But we're going to go learn some legends and myths of Charleston. So if we get things while I'm telling those stories, I'm going to use Heidi's list. Sorry, we're trying to remember names. Heidi's list to kind of determine which stories to tell. There's like 20 stories on that corner. So I'm going to let her list kind of dictate where the evidence is going to take us. If we don't get anything where I find that it's relevant, if you want to listen along the way, by all means, do so. Because you guys can tell me clues too. I'll kind of go through, and you can stop your video because nobody wants to just see us walking. We'll see how.
Wait, what was the lady's name?
Anne Bonner.
he said I'll probably won't get it.
Oh. Should Heidi give me a thing? She hangs on.
Where are you? Are you here?
And I'm with Mom's name. It's got the word love.
Oh.
And right now.
Maybe she thinks you're hot.
Yeah, should I? Like, is that part of the tour?
Such as listening.
That's pretty direct. April, what do you got? Anything?
Heard the word love.
Hear it here all the time. Actually have the number 13.
I'm going to show you something. We actually wanted to talk about those other tours last night. If you zoom, took a few pictures over there. Yeah, and I don't believe in words either. But on 3 different shots, you know, something blue there. And that one.
Oh, is this thing picking up audio?
I know, I forgot what we're talking about. I'm holding on your husband.
She's like, well, I can't use that footage. Nope.
Got the number 51.
Are you saying actually?
Are you saying you actually are?
Was it a quarter?
Well,
You know, Spirit walks by here, she'll catch her. I said, she's a good
I guess I don't get, like, if the problem with this basically is can't look forward. You can see this, and then you can put your finger in the way and turn it clear. So like you can do that. But you need to pointing at a particular thing, have a contrast on you, and then the shadow will need to move for me to see it. So,
Social media.
huh?
He said social media.
You know,
She's on Instagram.
well, she's probably some transgender. That's how you come out. You know, so
You know Charles is right across the street.
During.
Big.
But maybe they'll finish the sentence.
Maybe. It happens. Anything come up out of the front? Did you go up front, Brian?
like the front of this building over
Yeah.
here? Like around the wall? No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, if you and Mamie want to go up there and put your cameras in the fence, you can.
Okay.
Your cameras in the book.
Sounds good. Oh, this thing, you just kind of hold your hand out in front of the thing, but otherwise it turns red like that.
Oh.
You have to have the heat in there to make a contrast or whatever, but
Oh, he didn't say mine should show up white if I get anything. Like
Yeah.
this is just reflecting that light
I
there.
guess probably can't go through here, right? Maybe it's
Yeah,
going
how
around
are
that
you
way.
gonna do that?
I guess I'll walk over here. Okay.
Well, she burned to death. Her ashes were collected and burned, and sealed with wax, put away, and essentially buried in what
Sorry,
we call
pardon.
potter's field on the outside. And so years passed, probably about a century or so, and now you have there's a gentleman who's come into town. He's very ambitious, kind of makes fortune. And one evening, he has this tree where a woman in white with a veil over her face comes to him and tells him that if he digs in the woods outside Charleston, he will find a treasure beyond his imagination. Well, naturally, he follows the tree, goes and digs in the woods, and he finds an old-looking cask sealed with wax. So the woman had warned him not to open it until he got home. So he ran back to his house, and by the time he got there, it was quite dark. He opened the casket, and inside was just a pile of ashes. He was pretty disappointed, so he went to bed that evening, and while he was sleeping, the fire began. Now, we don't know the cause of this one exactly, but we know that it was right behind Charles Lake. What did you get?
Didn't see anything.
Nope.
No. Yeah, those make no sense. I don't understand how you fix a wall with that. Whatever. Good.
Like say you're about 13, so hopefully something else popped up.
I had what was your number? First, during, strep, cloud, copy, stick, diet.
Stick diet doesn't sound yummy at all. So, yeah, I got nothing on that.
Strep.
The number 7 will show up here a lot for two reasons. First off, the doctor I told you about was born on July 7th, so 7-7. So if I get it twice, I know it's referred to him. If I get it once, it's usually referred to John Calhoun. He was our 7th vice president.
Okay.
So, and I actually have had the name Andrew Jackson show up here. He was 7th vice president to Andrew Jackson.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I get a lot of weird stuff going on. This is a weird corner for everything.
When we leave here, which way do we go?
So, where are you heading?
A bathroom, I hope.
There's clean bathrooms in the garage.
You're kidding, right?
No.
Oh, I thought you were making a joke.
Nope, there's clean bathrooms in that garage over there.
Okay.
I know because I used it.
Okay, I'm gonna do
But
that.
my garage is down
I'm
the road.
coming out, came on.
So,
Your garage.
I rent a garage down here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think just straight across?
Right, yeah.
No, it's a little bit down the way.
No, I
It's
mean
about-
the one
bye.
I
Oh,
went
the
to out
bathroom for
here?
you guys is straight across.
Okay, I'm gonna run over there.
Wash your hands.
Are y'all getting ready to walk somewhere?
Nope. This is our last stop.
Oh,
What have you heard on yours?
Heard the song I'm Coming Out.
We'll take it.
Coffee
Again.
and Bonnie.
She's coming out.
She's going back in.
But I like the word, we had the word pinky show up. As in, almost like, sounds like Pinkney. Charles is buried across the street. So, again, Pinkney is probably not going to be in the vocabulary of this box.
Yeah, that's what Mamie, you were making fun, but I said it could be related.
Okay.
Yeah.
She told you.
You skeptic.
You know, like the only car in this parking lot is parked in spot 51. And there's two other cars.
That's interesting. I did write it down. You know, it's funny, there's a cat that would normally follow me here, and I named him Jack for the obvious reason. But he likes to sit on the numbers that are relevant to the story. So he'll sit on that, like, either 11, 28, or 20. And he did it all in one night. We had it on film. That was the date of Anne and Mary's trial, November 28th, 1720. Yep, and it wasn't like he sat in just that space, he sat on the numbers.
Oh,
So it's like, you little bastard. Like, we followed him around with your camera because it's the only one you can really see. You know, the thermal is just going to show.
yeah.
But with that one, we actually had it on film. It was pretty cool. And it's not like we chased him there either. We just kind of filmed him and waited.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
But he shows up here all the time. He has a collar on, so I don't know if he belongs to somebody. But
Wow.
I haven't seen him tonight.
That's really interesting.
It is interesting. A lot of interesting things going on in this lot. Alright, so once she gets back to the bathroom, we'll head over to that wall over there so we can collect the devices. You guys can ask me a million questions, whatever you guys want to do. Where did you guys park at?
Near north of Broad Street, on that little cone
Oh.
street, little
So you're gonna
parking
take-
deck at the corner.
Cumberland straight down and you're going to run right into it.
Okay.
So you're going to be fine. Where did you guys park?
Right by Big John's.
Oh, so that one's easy too. So you go down Church, basically where we came. You're going to run into the Andrew Pinkney Inn. Easy to remember, obviously the Pinkneys, because that's Pinkney Street as well. But Andrew Pinkney wasn't a real person. They named it that to be first in the phone book, so people would book their hotel first. So it's a yellow building. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty smart.
You say phone book to these kids today, they still don't know what the hell it is.
Right. Yeah.
Again, it's just like Kodak. Oh, and I use lasers too when I have a full group of 10, and I don't give it to teenagers because you need a digital camera with it, and they don't know what a digital camera is. So again, they're so used to their damn phones all the time. Like I make fun of them all night long.
yeah.
Especially the teenagers that think like they were going to be all gung ho and show all of us, you know, how to work this stuff. Yeah, no.
It's really funny on TikTok to watch a parent say to a kid, hand them a dial phone and say,
Can you dial? Can you know how to use this?
number?
And they start pushing the buttons.
No, not a push button one, a dial.
I know, but
rotary.
they'll push it.
No, it's even funnier than that. First of all, half the time they don't even know they have to pick the receiver, the hand thing up. That's the first thing. But then they'll just kind of go, okay, well, there's that one, and there's that one, and like they don't have a clue how to do it. It's so
We've
funny.
taught my 15-year-old like how to use the record player. So like to her, like that's like super old school, and she's
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
So again,
Yeah.
she knows how to use it. If I say go put on the White Album,
Yeah.
you know she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But she doesn't know how to like go to the next song to look for the gap.
Yeah.
She doesn't know
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah, but pretty cool stuff. Any readings at all?
No.
Nothing? Not even on your red screen? Again, I'm excited about some of the terms coming up there. Well, I guess while we're waiting on her, it looks like she's taking a long time.
Oh yeah, don't wait on her, honey.
Let's head over to that wall, and we can get this party wrapped up.
Well, I'm saying not. He doesn't have to.
No fussing.
Based on the regular audio, it's an hour and 45 minutes there. So you guys would probably have a good, I would say 5.5 to 6.5 hours worth of watching and listening. Not to mention all of the links that I'm going to send you for the reading. So again, I'm going to go through it for about 2 hours. Obviously all of my little notes will be on there as well. And make it nice and easy for you guys to read and understand what you're actually looking at. It is a scientific report, and I put it all in one place. So that way you guys can watch the YouTube videos there and do whatever you got to do. A lot of you guys were asking about the podcast and my books and all of that stuff. It's all at the top of your data page, including where I get all of the devices and the apps that I use. Like you guys said you use a few things already. There might be a few things in there that you may not have heard of that I actually trust and have gotten evidence from. So again, I list all of that stuff first off, they're affiliate links if you purchase anything. Of course, I gotta make a few extra bucks, but the apps are all free, so that way you guys can actually check those out and play with them. The wordless one, I actually have the updated version of that. Has 9,000 words in it. The free version only has, I think, 1,200. So again, I wanted to get an Ovilus, but it only has 2,400 words in it. So that one gives me 9,000.
Yeah.
I'd rather play with that one with the bigger vocabulary. So let's go ahead and start collecting devices. I'll start with the two of yours. Odor. Is there an odor around here? It's not smelling?
We
It's
might
the
be immune to
scurvy.
it too.
Yeah.
And it's right after diet, so somebody's got to...
But as soon as we showed up for our carriage tour, the horse started peeing. Right